Have you heard about Tina Peters? So Tina Peters was a pro-Trump Colorado election official who participated in an attempt to steal voters' data and was just convicted on 7 felony counts related to election tampering this week. And so that's bad news for someone who tried to participate, in the failed attempt to overturn the results of the last election. But if you think that that's gonna get her to back down or learn a lesson, well, you haven't been paying attention to MAGA.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
Take a look at this.
I am a big threat to them. And so the things that were done in this trial that people can go back and watch on Frank's speech was just atrocious. I mean, people can see it for themselves. Unfortunately, the jury was not allowed to see what was going on. They were very shielded from the facts of this case, from the defense of this case, and witnesses that should have been able to present in my defense. So, we're going to continue to fight this in the law, and in the meantime, until they either kill me or put me in prison, I'm going to keep speaking out about the injustice, about what's going on in these big multinational global corporations that have these vote flipping software that is basically in Serbia. We've already shown that people that I'm accused of influencing, there's emails between them and Serbia.
Okay, look, no, we've already got Hugo Chavez, and we've got the satellites, and we've got Italy. I can't take any more wrinkles to the 2020 thing. If you just listen to them and believe what they say, every country in the world coordinated with the ghosts of dead leaders to rig the 2020. Look, it's nonsense. Again, we live in a weird time as a species, as a civilization, where a person like that can put clothing on, can turn on a webcam, and yet there's nothing there in their brain. But at least in her case, she got in trouble. She actually was convicted for her attempt to steal this voter data to prove fraud that she couldn't prove even with that data. The entire thing is insane. Look, you are potentially gonna go to prison, not because you're a threat, it's because you broke the law. You can't break the law. And again, there's this thing that they all have where they are simultaneously the biggest victims ever, and they are going up against a multinational cartel of largely Jewish elites and all that. That's what they'll say. And then meanwhile, they're the biggest heroes that ever existed. They're so brave and so smart and so wise. No, you believe a con man who can't accept that he lost an election, and you can't accept that he lost the election, and so you broke into a system that you never should have. That's the end of the story. What do you think, Sharon?
And you know who will be there to assist and hold the hand and commiserate with her? No one. Crickets. Not a dollar. Not a, may I pray with you? None of that. You are on your own. You alone will face the consequences.
Yeah. And look, she's gonna potentially face some time or whatever. We'll find out how that actually shakes out. And so it's extremely unlikely that she'll be involved in the counting of the vote, the certification of the vote this time around. But one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this was others are still out there, and they have spent the past 4 years winning these elections, being appointed to, like the county clerks of elections and things like that, becoming secretaries of individual states. And there are already those who have said they will not certify a win if Kamala Harris wins. Marjorie Greene has lent rhetorical support to that movement. And so there are people that will steal data. Sure, there are people who will attempt to change the results. That's gonna happen. But if Harris wins, there are already those that say, we're not gonna certify it, which means that the legal challenges are almost guaranteed at this point. Maybe it won't be enough. Maybe they can refuse to certify it and she'll still have so much that we don't even need to adjudicate that. But it's not like a fallback, like an emergency. Like if they lose that they'll look into doing this. They have been setting this up for almost half of a decade at this point. And so at this point, you can just expect that it's gonna happen. The country is filled with more Tina Peters, as reprehensible as that might be to imagine. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?